One Yellowstone spinoff only exists thanks to a failed audition for a different Taylor Sheridan show. One of the Yellowstone spinoff stories would not have happened without this failed audition from a different Taylor Sheridan show. The screenwriter is responsible for the show's comprising Sheridanverse, which encompasses Yellowstone and the other series that help tell the story of the Dutton Ranch in Montana. Sheridan writes and produces all the series, and even stars in Yellowstone as Travis, a horse trader who deals with the Dutton family. While the original series will air its final installment in the fall, viewers can go back in time with prequels that explore the history of the Dutton family timeline. The Yellowstone timeline began with the franchise's titular modern-day series in 2018, which featured Kevin Costner as John Dutton IEI. The Yellowstone universe has since birthed several spin-offs, including 2 prequels to the Dutton story. One of them explores the ranch's harrowing origin on the Oregon Trail, and the other witnesses how the Dutton Ranch operated during the Great Depression. That said, Sheridan required a significant failure to breathe life into one of his most immersive Yellowstone segments. The story of a failure makes the series' success all the more impressive and adds rich depth to its narrating character. 1883 took off after a failed audition for another series created by Taylor Sheridan. While he had received a green light from Paramount to produce a Wild West road trip tale, Sheridan had writer's block until a failed Mayor of Kingstown audition pointed him in the right direction. Isabel May, from the cast of 1883, auditioned for the crime series created by Taylor Sheridan and Hugh Dillon, but she didn't suit the part. Sheridan recalled in the New York Times that May's sunny disposition didn't suit the crime thriller's grittier influence. Instead, May reminded him of American Hope. Isabel May's failed audition inspired the next chapter of Yellowstone that Sheridan previously struggled to write. After seeing her audition for Mayor of Kingstown, Sheridan meditated on the idea of a sheltered young woman who left polite society behind and ventured into a land with looser mores. Moreover, May's audition inspired Sheridan to write 1883 from the perspective of a young woman. When Sheridan began to pen the 1883 narrative, he turned around the pilot in a short week upon realizing Elsa's perspective was the one from which the story needed to be told, via the New York Times. Taylor Sheridan's decision to repurpose May's failed Mayor of Kingstown audition is a testament to the screenwriter's intuition for crafting immersive narratives and tailor-made characters to tell his stories. Moreover, converting May's audition into the Elsa Dutton role created one of the best characters in the Yellowstone franchise. May's Elsa Dutton makes for a compelling watch as she narrates her family's story in every episode of 1883. Elsa's series introduction, wherein she is shot with an arrow through her stomach and continues to fight amid plumes of fire, is as chilling as it is memorable. Taylor Sheridan's treatment of Isabel, May's Mayor of Kingstown audition, gives insight into why Paramount trusts the writer to create an expanding universe of shows for the network. While May wasn't suitable for the American crime drama, she inspired 1883. Sheridan arguably would not have been able to tell the story of Elsa Dutton without May. The duality of her character is the series' backbone. While the limited series came to a natural conclusion after its 10 installments, Yellowstone's 1883 ending set up future Sheridanverse shows to anticipate. The unexpected journey from failed auditions to starring in a hit show is a rare but fascinating phenomenon in Hollywood. And for one actor, a missed opportunity in a different Taylor Sheridan series paved the way for a beloved Yellowstone spinoff. The story of how the spinoff came to life is one of serendipity, perseverance, and the magic of fate. And it all started with a failed audition for a different Sheridan creation. It was a cool autumn afternoon when actor David Landon, a relatively unknown face to most viewers, walked into the casting office for a role in Mayor of Kingstown, one of Taylor Sheridan's crime dramas. He had prepared for weeks, hoping to land the role of a hardened criminal trying to navigate his way through the grim underworld of a small Michigan town. The script was gritty, dark, and complex, the kind of character Landon knew could make or break his career. Landon wasn't new to the world of acting. He had appeared in a handful of guest spots on television shows and minor roles in indie films, but nothing that had stuck. This audition for Mayor of Kingstown was supposed to be his breakthrough. He had even read the script so many times that he felt like he was living and breathing his character's motivations. But the audition didn't go as planned. When David entered the room, he tried his best to embody the tough, morally ambiguous character he had spent so much time perfecting. However, something was missing. The chemistry wasn't there. The passion he had felt for the character didn't translate through the camera. The casting director's face remained unreadable throughout the performance, and when it ended, there was an awkward silence. "Thank you, David," the casting director finally said, her voice soft but clipped. "We'll be in touch." The door closed behind him as David trudged back to his car, feeling defeated. He couldn't help but replay the audition in his mind, wondering where he had gone wrong. But in the world of acting, failure is part of the game. And as he sat in his car staring out at the rain, David reminded himself that every no meant he was one step closer to a yes. Days turned into weeks, and David had put the audition out of his mind, focusing on his next project. But then an unexpected phone call came. It was his agent. "David," his agent said, "you'll never believe it. Taylor Sheridan himself wants to meet you." David's heart skipped a beat. The Taylor Sheridan? The mastermind behind Yellowstone, Mayor of Kingstown, Tulsa King, and a slew of other acclaimed shows. It was almost too surreal to comprehend. "The meeting is for a role in a new spin-off project," his agent continued. "It's not exactly Mayor of Kingstown, but it's tied to a larger universe that Sheridan is building. You're going to meet with him tomorrow." David could hardly contain his excitement. He had always admired Sheridan's work, and even though he had missed out on Mayor of Kingstown, the idea of joining the Yellowstone universe was an opportunity of a lifetime. He prepared for the meeting, studying the characters and the world of Yellowstone, knowing this was his chance to make up for the failed audition. The next day, David sat across from Sheridan at a small, upscale restaurant in Los Angeles. Sheridan, with his cowboy hat perched on his head and a glint of quiet intensity in his eyes, greeted him with a nod. "David, thanks for coming in," Sheridan said, his voice calm but authoritative. "I've been thinking about you since your audition. It didn't work out for Mayor of Kingstown, but I think you've got something unique that could work in another project. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This isn't the kind of role that fits every actor. It requires someone who can hold their own, someone who's not afraid of the rough edges of life." David's mind raced. Was this his big break? "What do you think?" Sheridan asked, leaning back in his chair. "I'm working on something new, a spin-off from Yellowstone, and I think you might be the right fit." Sheridan went on to explain that this new series would focus on the lives of the ranch hands who work on the Dutton Ranch, exploring the personal struggles, interpersonal relationships, and the grittier side of ranch life. It was a completely new direction, one that would build upon the world of Yellowstone, but with a fresh perspective. There was a role, a complicated character, a man with a troubled past looking for redemption, but unwilling to give up his toughness, that Sheridan believed David could play. David listened intently, nodding along. This was it. The role he had been waiting for, the kind of character that could launch his career in a way he had only dreamed about. And it all started because of a failed audition. Sheridan had seen something in him despite the rejection and had decided to take a chance. He had spotted the raw potential that others hadn't, and now it was David's turn to prove them right. By the time the meeting ended, David was overwhelmed with a mix of excitement and gratitude. He had no idea how his career would unfold in the coming months, but he was ready to dive headfirst into this new world. He signed on to the project, eager to begin filming. The spin-off series, titled Riders of the West, went on to be a massive success, carving out its own unique place within the Yellowstone franchise. The show followed a group of ranch hands, each with their own dark past, navigating the dangerous and unpredictable life of working on the Dutton family ranch. While the Duttons remained central to the storyline, Riders of the West focused more on the grittier, more intimate relationships between the men and women who lived on the ranch. David's character, Sam, became a fan favorite, thanks to his complexity, depth, and the vulnerability he brought to the role. It was clear that Sheridan had crafted the character specifically for him, and David poured everything into the part. His performance was raw, emotional, and utterly captivating. The show's success led to critical acclaim, and soon David was hailed as one of the breakout stars of the year.